praying the power works today. Welcome to Retro Boost Live, where this is the first time that the previously thing is going to be put to use on the stream. Alright, last time, decided to play the old Super Metroid, and the power went out during the stream, which the stream obviously didn't catch that, but the recording did. Because I upload the recording afterwards, it's way better quality. There's the magic moment. So, the flaw in my power setup here is that although I have a backup battery for my computer and stuff here to protect it from a power outage, and I have a backup battery for the router and the internet equipment, which, for reference, is on the other side of that wall right there. I neglected to have a backup battery for the Ethernet switch that's right there. Boop, 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 boop. So, funny enough, I could actually stream for like probably 30 minutes with no power at all. Now, I have since rectified the mistake and run that switch into a backup battery thing that was already in that rack. I already had one in there to protect my little I have a storage thing down there. So cool. So that was funny. Never would have expected the power to go out. And hello, as always, Passix. Nice to have you here. What an adventure. So I'm gonna switch it up and see about getting through a little more Paper Mario today. Getting toward the end of this game too, which it's like one of those things like you think I'll never be able to finish that or whatever, but we're getting there, and it's only gonna get harder. It was really creepy. Like, I'm just in the dark here, and I'm just like all kind of confused, and you can't see behind me. It was. I would have never expected the power to go out at like flipping 2 in the afternoon or whatever time that was. So funny. It wasn't out for that long though. I ended up leaving the house to go kind of just adventure, and I came back and it had already been back on. So it was probably only out for like 20. No, not 20 minutes. It was probably only out for about 45 minutes, an hour maybe, at the most. Don't get a lot of power outages here, but there's definitely a few a year. Enough to justify the need for the backup battery stuff just to protect the equipment. Because frequently I'll leave the house with the computer doing work, like exporting or rendering a video, and then I toggle in remotely to have it export or something like that. So definitely want to protect it from power outages. But the power outage wasn't the only adventure. I talked about this, Passix and I, actually, you here now. We both talked about this back and forth on the Discord server. But GameStop getting into the retro market. Woof. Let's move this over here so I can see it better. Yeah, there we go. They actually did say that it was going to take like 7 hours, but then it came back in like less than 1. Because the initial estimate was like 5 p.m. or no, like 7 p.m. something, and it was like what 12:40 something when it went out. So that usually happens. I actually used to work at a store, you know, not far from here. They get more power outages in that specific area than my area gets. It's not far away, but it happens all the time. And Christmas Eve 2 years ago, that store that I was working at lost power right in the morning, and it was out like until like 4 p.m. So it's like 8 hours. It happens. One more circle. Yeah. Yeah, calling it out. Sell it. Woo! Yeah, the Discord server, it's just for fun. Like, it's not It's not a means to more income. I don't make money off of any of that stuff. I don't want to either. I don't do this for a job, so it's all just for fun. We talk about all kinds of things on there. Talk about whatever, post memes, and when I'm in the midst of editing a ton of stuff, I'll put things up in the Discord server for early access. So like the kind of September, you could call it a fall season of Retro Boost arcade content was all in there for the longest time as I was working through it. So it's cool. We're also doing some giveaways. Today, the day of filming this, is September the 1st. Starting September 7th, once every Saturday, I'll be doing a raffle for digital movie codes. And if anyone was ever curious, like, why is it digital movie codes? So I'm a big Blu-ray collector. I have been for the longest time. And what'll happen is sometimes I'll get like a digital movie on sale through Vudu, which I use a lot because I travel a lot for work and stuff. So it'd be like, oh, look at that, you know, The Crow in 4K for $5. Yeah, I'll grab that. And that was like a year ago. But then a movie that I don't own on Blu-ray will like come out or be on sale, and I'll be like, oh, I want that for the collection. And then what I end up with is like, well, I don't need two of them, obviously. Like the second code, I'm just gonna throw it away, right? So I might as well give it away. So I had this season 4 movies that I had already owned digitally for the longest time that I got on 4K. It was what was that list? It was the SpongeBob SquarePants movie, which my dad and I like to watch. It's a favorite of ours. Rango, which is a great movie. Always loved that movie, and him and I, my dad and I, have a lot of running family jokes. We quote that movie all the time. And then 2 others, which currently escape me. But it was like 4, so I was like, oh, perfect timing for another giveaway. Yeah, because you can't just like get those normally, right? Like, at least I don't think you can. So if anyone was curious, like if that makes sense, it's not some weird like smuggling thing. Like, oh, let me offload these illegal codes I'm trying to flip or something. Like, nah, like people give them away on Reddit all the time, like in the movie subreddits and stuff. Like, they do the same thing, so I might as well give them away. But the only criteria for being able to get it is you're just a member of the Discord server and you're applicable. There's no like paywall to it or whatever. So we'll be doing that. 4 giveaways in December, or 4 giveaways in September. We were also talking about the GameStop situation. Anyone that watches this who's seen a lot of the content that I've posted will know that I used to work at GameStop. That's how Cameron and I first met. Cameron and I, we did Retro Boost Arcade in the early days, and he came back for a podcast, and he's a member of the Discord server too. He's in there. So Cameron and I, we met at working at GameStop. Like, that would have been just over probably 10 years ago now. Actually more than 10 years. I started in fall 2011, and it's now 2024, so 10 minus, it's like 13 years ago. Cool. I'm old. So GameStop is near and dear to our hearts. It was funny to see that they're now getting into, oh, this is why Hammer Throw comes into play. You thought you could charge up on me? Oh, Hammer Throw. It was always when we worked at GameStop, and this would have been like 2012, 2013 specifically. It was rumored back then that GameStop had like a warehouse just full of old gen games. So, you know, like N64, SNES, etc. They were still selling PS2 and GameCube at the time, but inventory was very limited. So it had been rumored that they had it, but they weren't selling it. Now here we are 10 years later, and they're now getting into the actual market, apparently. So I saw it on Reddit that there's like retro locations available. There are 2 GameStops very close to where I live Neither one of them were the retro locations. It was one that was like pretty far out of the way. Like I'll never, realistically, I'll never go there again. It was only as a scouting run. But their inventory was very, very limited. It was like one 6-foot kind of section. Little more than that maybe. Like it was like three little racks. They didn't have anything that I would actually qualify as legally retro. I think it has to be like at least 20 years old before you can properly consider it retro. Antiques are 30 years old. Like there's like a thing for that. So given that all they had was Wii, PS2, and Xbox 360, I would hesitate to call that retro. Yeah, the consoles came out. Well, no, not even. The PS3 was 2006, and the 360 was 2005. So neither of their oldest versions are old enough to be retro yet. In their defense, the condition of most of it was quite spectacular for GameStop standards that I had been used to seeing. You know, people's trading in their abused and beat up game boxes and whatnot. They all looked quite nice. Fire drive. I want you. Yes. I need the badge power though. Need more badge points. So they looked really good. Like some of the stuff was like borderline like new. Like the boxes felt like super smooth. I almost wonder if they like replaced them, but I don't think they did because the GameStop kind of brand, at least in my day working there, the GameStop generic cases were like not in any way similar to the real ones. So yeah, it was a little disappointing. I was hoping to find like just more stuff than was really there, but I think the kind of limit with that is that it wasn't like they opened up a GameStop just to sell retro games. They opened up they're putting retro games into specific locations, and even the largest footprint GameStops are still pretty small stores, right? So yeah, but it was kind of a bummer that they didn't have like more than what they had. It was PS3, 360, a lot of Wii, and like a lot of DS. Ton of DS. But no Super Nintendo, no Genesis, no Sega CD, etc., etc. Oh, you learned how to replace PS1 cases? That's interesting. Those things are CD jewel cases. Oops. PS1 cases. PS1 things are cool. The manual and the manual is the box art. I thought that was kind of cool. FP plus. Gotta write it down. All right. Notated. I've been doing this a lot. Which one's which? This one's probably where I want to go. Did you find like some kind of a seller or place that sells cases that are like very similar to the PS1 ones, or like what do you mean? I'd be curious to know because they are slightly unique jewel cases. Ugh. That's right, there's no fast travel to the outpost in this one. Jesus. How cruel. That's why this is gonna be so grindy. Alright, you finance my cannon. The more interesting part about the GameStop visit, though, was how hungry for sales the employee was. You think that I was thinking that I was like witnessing the freaking Wolf of Wall Street scenario playing out in front of me. Oh man, I came in there. This guy came in ahead of me, and he had started to talk to the guy as I'm browsing the games, and then like he finishes up, and the guy's giving him the sales pitches and stuff. He's pitching him the rewards card, and the dude like just said no. He was like, he goes through the whole sales spiel, and the guy's like, "Nah, I'm good." And he's like, "Okay, I get it, but also let me make sure that you're just aware of what you're missing here." And then he like goes through the whole spiel again. I'm like, dude, he said no. Like, come on. He's acting like he gets commission from that, and I know he doesn't. He's probably the manager of the store. He had that kind of vibe to him. His spirit wasn't broken like everyone else's are after they worked there long enough. Or immediately. Who's to say? Alright. You want Tony Hawk? Yeah. Right. So yeah, it's in like just bad shape. It's got physical damage and stuff. So you're like repairing them. Well, are you replacing them or repairing them? Make sure I'm reading that right. Either way, it's cool. Because I have a couple like that that are in pretty rough shape that I got from a friend who, a coworker really from forever ago, who I haven't talked to and I don't even know where he is. He could be on the moon for all I know. But they are not in good shape. Oh. There's no fast travel to the outpost. That sucks. Technically, we should only have to go back once. Oh! Uh-oh. Ow. Ha. Oh, I see. Yeah. That's actually a pretty... That makes sense, because there's definitely a lot of... You can make a case for that. Like, you go to a retro game shop and just buy up, like, all their copies of all that, like, no-name stuff. Like, yep, doing repairs. Imagine if NES games had cases. You'd be, like, buying up every copy of Mario Duck Hunt for your repair endeavors. That makes sense, actually, yeah. Alright, so... Who can tell me? Ah. Which one of you has the truth? Okay, here we go. Okay, where'd he go? Did say he's going to the deserted island. They made this part a lot better in the remake because the fast travel room is easier to get to, A, and B, you could fast travel to Far Outpost, which you can't in this one, which sucks. This is probably not it. Oh no, it is. And you can't. And you could fast travel to Glitzville, which doesn't make any sense. But I mean, who cares? Yeah, so now he's going to Glitzville. Oh, actually, since we're here, let me get a whack-a-bump. You can fight him in the remake too. Actually, he's one of the new goofy little optional bosses. I'll have to check it out later today, but the game shop. So near me, like when I started the channel in 2020, it was like a way to just have something to do that was like kind of productive. I just wanted to do it. I had taken some like film classes when I was younger, but didn't do anything with the skills. And I had every game console I have now, minus the SNES One chip and the a Dreamcast. I'd already owned, so I was like, let's do some like retro gaming content. But the funny thing about you going back through the older stuff when I was like first doing the channel, that collection has blown up like so much since then. When I first started the channel, I had only just kind of recently discovered that game shop near me. It's a game store called Video Game World, and a lot of their stuff is in great shape too, but just the same, they do have plenty of cheap stuff per each console, so I'm gonna have to keep that trick in mind for replacing cases. But they had some big PlayStation trade come in yesterday. A ton of PS3 and PS2 stuff. Oh, excuse me. I have to check out what they got later on. And then they had like, it's a locally owned thing, and they had like, at one point they had like 6 locations. They've closed and moved a couple of them, and now there's only 2 of the 5 are near me. It used to be the like 4 of them were near me, and they all kind of had different rare stuff coming through them. But then I also discovered a different one, another store, like an hour away, that they have a ton of inventory. I have no idea where they're getting it. A ton of stuff per every console except for like N64 and Genesis and some of the portable stuff. Other than that, like, you know, PS1, PS2, PS3, 360, original Xbox, Wii, they were just loaded on inventory, and I was just like kind of like starstruck on it, like, I want to buy all this. Oh my god, some huge tree. Oh my god, don't get me started on Puyo Puyo Tetris. That's that was fun as hell though. Man, oh man. Mario 64 was cool because it was like the first game that I completed, and probably to date the only game that I've completed on one of those kind of segments. Technically Yoshi's Story, but not to its completion. The Tetris thing was funny because like Cameron had owned that for a long time, and I'm pretty sure that we actually played that at his house at one point, because him and we met at GameStop, and then what we started doing was like once every 2 weeks or so, I would go to his place and we would watch like movies, and it didn't start like this, but it turned into this like weird competition to like find the weirdest, most obscure, like culty, crazy stuff. Because all it took was us watching like one weird thing, and we were like, oh, we gotta watch more of this stuff. All kinds of goofy cult movies. We also watched a ton of the video game based movie stuff too. all the Uwe Boll movies like Blood Rain and House of the Dead and all that stuff. So at one point, I know that during that, we did play some games together. Puyo Puyo Tetris was one of them. He's really good at it, or at least he's familiar with it, whereas I'm not really. And like that was just like so funny, where it's like I think that I have a good rhythm, and meanwhile on his screen he's just crushing me. God, it's funny. Yeah, Pokemon Stadium, I got as far as I always got as a kid, funny enough. So, I like that game. I think the announcer is hilarious, and the game itself is just really fun. That's about the point that I always got as a kid before it would fall apart. Who knows where this guy is? You just say, I don't know. General White, yeah. Oh, somewhere dark. It's a Twilight Town. Yeah, because I remember getting that game and... Oh, there's a badge. I could sell it for money. Well, I'll come back for it. the announcer just like makes that game so fun. Taken down on the word go. That like Mr. Fix-It guy is like the one that I would always lose to as a kid. Granted, as a kid, I had no effing clue how the type stuff worked. Like not even in the least. So whatever, me getting that far was a miracle in itself. But I do recall there was a save file on it for like the highest tier cup, like the Master League or whatever. There was like an existing save file for that was like almost at the last fight, and I remember starting it and like continuing it and like clumsying my way through it, and then losing on the final fight. I think it started from like halfway, but again, like I wouldn't have known what I was doing. It was all just me guessing at what I didn't understand like what meant you to go first or whatever. Totally like lost. Beyond the obvious, like I knew that if my guy was a fire guy and their guy was a water guy, then I'd be in trouble. That's about all I knew. Oh, he has to die. I don't want you to use that item on me. Don't do it. Ah, I knew his defense was at least one. What am I doing? No! Oh, jeez. They're gonna throw rocks at me. That seems like such a waste. All right. Ow. That was always the fun part about save files. That was always the fun and weird thing about renting games back in the cartridge era. You never know what you're gonna find on there. Cause just the same, I had I'll just use that now. More Thunder Rages. Nice. Cause I remember having like that's the reason that I love Neo Star so much from Kirby 64, because when I first got the game, the save file on it was up to that point, so that was like the first level that I played. What else? There was that one for Pokemon. Yeah, the Pokemon copy that I had some stuff already completed. So that was interesting. I need to like, I don't know how I can like go back and like be really good at that other than like flipping EV train a bunch of Pokemon on Pokemon Red and like actually transfer them in. Like I don't know how else I could do it, but it would be interesting to do a stream or something of that one. Oh, what am I doing? Take the pipe down, idiot. To try to actually beat that, because I never have, like ever in my life. I've never beaten that thing. That was the funny thing about that, just playing stuff that I did. I got my ass kicked in Pokemon. I got my ass kicked in Mario Baseball. I didn't do so well in most of the stuff I did for that. That Mario Baseball thing was brutal. I crushed that game as a kid. I beat it on like all the hardest difficulties, unlocked all the characters, and then I picked it up for this and just like could not make it work. Yes. Oh, I don't care about that. Where's General White? Alright. I think we're good. Yeah, the remake of this, all these pipes to fast travel back to these places are in the same room. And now that I'm thinking about it, in this game, there isn't even a dedicated fast travel pipe for Twilight Town, or the Outpost, or Inglesville. That's only half of them. Oh, I made a big mistake. I'm gonna die. I should... Where are we at here? 25. Oh well. Screw it! Probably not gonna regret this at all. Tori and I had a lot of fun playing the baseball game. He's asked me, we've played it off of the camera too, just like, because it's so fun. And I was debating trying to go back to it to like basically for us to do a sort of co-op-y type approach to beating the little challenge mode thing for it. It's a very good game. No, it's okay though. That's what the hammer's for. And he's on ground level, so it's free. Ha! Yeah. And the baseball one was... That playthrough was tough, because at first it went kind of well, but then I just couldn't beat... I had to do like multiple retries on Peach, and then failed twice. Or yeah, twice or even 3 times on DK. Ugh. Brutal. Brutal. Ah, no. I also lost really hard at the Mario Party stuff. Actually, another the really funny thing about the just plain stuff that I did, with the exception of the Metroid Prime one, which is the last one that I was doing before it kind of transitioned to Retro Boost Arcade with Cameron. That was all before I owned any kind of like RetroTINK or other stuff. Like I didn't even know it existed at that point, which is why there's like such a disparity in quality between like the Pokemon Stadium video versus say like the Mario 64 one, because the Mario 64 one was played on the Wii's Virtual Console because it was like the best looking option that I had to capture from. Because it was like November, it was like toward the end of November that same year that stuff went live, that I went to the game store and the manager, who was like really into retro tech, he was just happened to be fiddling around with something, and he showed me all that stuff. He had a CARBY. I think he had just bought it, but he also had like the RetroTINK 2X SCART, and he was playing around with that as well. So I bought that stuff in like December that year and didn't really I didn't like start making videos about it until I played around with it more. And the first of the videos that kind of used it was the Metroid Prime thing. Oh boy, the eternal debate. I want fire drives. Let me do badge points. Yes, power, undeniable power. Alright, fire drive is some good stuff. Oh boy. Yeah, I can actually, I have it right here. Hold on one second. I'll show it to you. Where did you go? Ah. So before I started the channel, like I knew that I was gonna do videos on gaming, so I kept Googling like, how do you capture, you know, retro games? Like, how do you do it? What's the best way? What's the best way to capture retro games? And the two things that kept coming up were the Frame Meister and then this guy. So this is a StarTech USB based capture card, and it's got HDMI, it's got like a DVI type thing, and then it also has this breakout cable input, and that uses where are they? So that uses like this, like you plug it in. It's like an S-Video looking kind of thing, like it's got like, yeah, it kind of resembles like a Sega Genesis's the video thing, but it's got like analog inputs, so you could plug in like composite or component into that, and then it's HDMI, and then it's a USB based capture card. So that's what I was using for like the first 7-8 months of the channel, which is also why the first video that I ever did, which was this review of the original NES Metroid, just for the sake of quality, and because my NES is really fickle, I used like my Retron 5 system, just HDMI directly into all that. Or no, that's not correct at all. I bought this second. That's right. I bought the card I'm using currently to capture all this is an Elgato 4K Mark II, and originally my plan, very ignorantly, was to run everything through my Denon AV receiver, which has the ability to take analog in and it converts it. It's no different than the generic kind of AV to HDMI type stuff. And then I was going to run that out to the capture card, but that didn't work because it can't. I'd have to use like an HDMI splitter, and the thing is like super sensitive to HDCP. So then I did this second, but this is how I was recording all that. Bottom line, so I recorded anything like native N64 was this. The Wii component would go into this. And then if it was HDMI based, it could just go directly into the HDMI port. But that's what I was using. It's still a pretty nice card, with that said. Like, it's still great for HDMI. I've experimented with trying to use it in synchronicity with the Elgato card. Like, there's 3 kind of experimental Retro Boost arcades. It was me and Tori. We did the 2 Godzilla videos and the Five Nights at Freddy's thing. We're done with the camera running into this and the game with Elgato, and the idea was, can we do a Retro Boost arcade that like we could just film it and upload it like right away? Like, can we do like some kind of like crazy quantity kind of thing? But the problem was there was no way to like cut to like a close-up of us with that. But that's what I was using. So I knew like native N64 stuff still looked like super fuzzy and like not super great, which is why I tend to use the Wii Virtual Console. So yeah, and then once the manager guy at the store kind of opened my eyes to all this other stuff, which strangely never came up. Like, I'm sitting here like Googling like how to like get the best out of your retro games on whatever, and like it like RetroTINK and stuff like never came up. Oh, that was bad. But he kind of showed me all that stuff, and then I gradually kind of integrated it into the whole thing. Oh, Jesus. Hey, lucky that. They can do 40 damage per turn if I'm not paying attention. Holy God. Yes! Oh, fire drive is so cool. It's resource heavy though. That's the one downside. But I do have the FP badge, so I definitely need more FP. Ah. That was not on purpose. Yeah, out of all the original videos I did in that first kind of 8-month-ish span, Pokemon Stadium, let's see here, Pokemon Stadium, Gex, Mario Party 2, I think, pretty sure Mario Party 2, could be wrong, or no, Mario Party 3, yeah, Mario Party 3 with Cameron, that was all like pre-RetroTINK stuff. Because it took me until like March. Like, I bought all the stuff in December, but it took me until like March to have it all like ready for use, because I got a lot of stuff all in a short span. I got the RetroTINK 2X Pro and the 2X Pro M kind of together, and then I got the CARBY a few months after that, and then during all that I also got the Xtrons, which is for pretty cheap. Man, that was back when I was getting like super good mileage pay for the job that I had. So I had like this kind of extra income source coming in to just burn. Don't really have that anymore. But I made thinking back to that made that pretty great to buy that kind of stuff. It's like March to get it all set up and integrated. And even then, that was before I had all the better cables, because that was a gradual process too, of getting like, you know, component for RGB component for certain things and whatnot. It's been a journey, man. It's been a real journey. That's the fun part about doing those like console collection videos, because I can be like, man, look how far it's come. And you learn about all this stuff. It's so cool. I'll have to pop that one in. He said he was tired. Didn't you not come back here? Or did I miss it? Did he go back into his house? Yes! He's sawing logs. Couldn't be any more asleep. In fact, you knocked him out and he's more asleep. God damn it. Stashed baby. Oh yeah. Alright. We're gonna go to the moon. I even remember saying it like in the video too. When I did like a video on Kirby 64, it started out with me doing it on the N64 version, and then I say in the video, like, for the purposes of quality or whatever, I'm gonna do the Wii version and switch it over. Kirby 64 is a game that still doesn't look too great on, even with the 5X Pro or the Rad 2X. It's just like, it's hard to explain. It looks just bizarre. I need to get capture of it because I'm working on the top 10 on 64 video. And I've been debating like how I'm gonna get capture of it. I may just do what I did for the Retro Boost Arcade for it, which is we use the Wii U virtual console just for variety's sake. I may do that again. Who knows? All right, here we go. To the moon. So you thought that it was going to be a tiny cannon. Oh no. It's funny how, like, this is like where I was saying the remake of this game strives to have everything look like it's made out of paper or cardboard, whereas the original, the characters are all paper, but the environment, like, it just kind of depends. Like, that just looks like a metal cannon. Like, it doesn't resemble paper or cardboard in the least. Oh, nice. I bought a couple of games from that new place that I found. I got Tales of Xillia 2, which completes my Tales of collection for PS3. It wasn't expensive. And Sly Cooper 4, which completes my Sly Cooper collection between the two consoles. One more thing. What else did I use? One more. Blood Rain 1 and 2 for OG Xbox. None of these were expensive, but those are my new things. That's just stuff for the collection. But yeah, I gotta take it easy on purchases now, though. Holy crap, that's a deal. Sly Cooper, yeah, Sly Cooper and the Chivious Rastunists. Sly Cooper and his band of thurbs. That's a deal on the lava lamp, though. I've never been able to be in that situation where it's like, oh look, a gold cartridge of the Nintendo World Championships, and this guy thinks it's worth $10. Like I've never been in that situation. Actually, that's not true. One time, when I was in Delaware visiting family, way north of here, there was like this little shop on the beachfront. It's just a souvenir shop, and they had a copy of Sonic CD in the case with the manual, like flippin' mint condition for like $40. How much is that going for now? I feel like I got a deal on that. But watch me pay double for it, though. Let's... Disappointment incoming. Sonic CD. It's worth 80 on average now. So you look at that. I got a deal. And it's a game that I've barely played and probably never really will. Alright. It helps to have all the knowledge, that's for sure. That's for dang sure, to be the smarter. If they don't know what they got, that's what happens. Alright. That is going to be the end of this one. I have to bounce. I did this one an hour earlier because Tori and I are meeting to see Alien Romulus today. And we'll likely do a podcast about it. We're also working on like revamping the whole podcast thing too, because the podcast is just fun for us to do, but it's had like no structure to it, and we're kind of working on that angle of it. Plus, I'm revamping all the scenes for it to have it be a much better experience. That's what we're doing now, though. We're going to go see Alien Romulus. For everyone who popped in, thanks for watching. And, of course, as always, thank you so much, Passix, for watching. It's really fun to have someone to talk to. As with the previous ones, I'll upload the recorded version later today as a better quality replay versus the stream. Obviously, the stream is still fun because we all get to talk and whatnot for those who come after. Oh, Jay and Silent Bob. Chasing Amy. I haven't seen Chasing Amy. Kevin Smith, though, I'm very familiar with. I thought Clerks 3 was pretty good. It was sad, but it was pretty good. He also writes a lot of cool stuff. So, yeah, movie time. Woo! All right, everybody. We'll see ya on the next one. Thanks for joining me.